Hi guys, Kimberly with Five Oaks Homestead. Today we're going to be making homemade pizza dough. So let's get started. I'm going to be using Kara from Grains in Small Places recipe. This is my first time ever doing this recipe, so I'm going to be looking down at it quite a bit because, like I said, it's my first time. So what we're going to do is use 460 grams of wheat berries. It's about 1 2/3 cup of hard white wheat and 3/4 cups of kamut. So I'm going to pour my wheat berries into my Nutri-Mill grinder. I have it set pretty much for the finest, and then you pretty much turn it the feed rate till it turns on. Okay, so now our flour is done milling. We're gonna open it up. And a lot of times it's good to shake it down, get all the static out. Take your little cup and pour in the finely milled flour. I don't understand the point of that, but that's for a later video, maybe one day when I understand it a little better. All right, so we're gonna come over here to our mixer. And we're going to pour in our warm water, 1.5 cups. Should be about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Our salt, Redmond's real salt, 1.5 teaspoons. Our honey, you can use honey or sugar. I chose to use 1 tablespoon of honey, but if you choose to use sugar, you can use 1 tablespoon of sugar. Sugar would have been easier to use. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of extra light virgin olive oil. 1, 2, and we're going to add our flour. Spatula and get all the extra flour out that wants to stick in. Possibly grab that extra honey out of there. And then we're going to turn our mixer and just make sure all of our dry ingredients are incorporated together. You don't want to see any dry flour. Like all of my dough is pretty well mixed together. Now it's time to incorporate the yeast. So we are going to use 2 teaspoons of instant yeast. my teaspoon is dirty, so I'm going to use a half a teaspoon, so I'm going to use 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to turn it back on and mix it together. I forgot to mention a step. I got a little ahead of myself. So once you incorporate those liquids with that flour, you need to let your flour and liquids sit for about 15 minutes so they can absorb all the liquids. So the flour absorbs all the liquids. So I accidentally added the yeast before doing that, but I'm gonna let this sit about 15 minutes and then we'll get back with you. All right, so the dough has been sitting for about 15 minutes, so letting the water incorporate. So we're gonna start the kneading process. This can take about 20 to 25 minutes with freshly milled flour, just until you reach the window pane, you pass the window pane test, where you can see through it, stretch it without ripping. We'll show you in about that time. All right guys, we're gonna check our window pane test. I wet my hands so I can touch my dough so it won't be so sticky. So see how it pulls up? You can pull it and you can see through it, and it's stretchy and doesn't really pull apart. So at this point, I'll go ahead and take the dough hooks out. And we'll cover and let it sit for anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, or at least till it doubles in size. So what I'll do is kind of pull it around and cover. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting up my blocks of cheese. I like to buy blocks of cheese instead of shredded cheese because it's fresher. And then we'll have our ham and pineapple pizza as well. So stay tuned. All right, so it's been 45 minutes to an hour. So we're gonna go ahead and take our dough out. Probably should have oiled my hands so it doesn't stick to me. I've lightly oiled the surface of my mat, and I like to use a mat just so it doesn't stick all over my counter. Plus I have countertops that it likes to stick to more. So I'm gonna go ahead and half this dough. I'm just gonna eyeball it, I'm not gonna weigh it. And then I'm going to I put it on a silicone mat, and then I'm just gonna stretch it out to fit it. It's not wanting to stay, it wants to shrink back up. But it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm trying to work on the next one. We had a little storm come through, We've had lots of wind and rain and thundering, but it looks like it's calming down out there now. I also forgot to mention that you, at this point, need to preheat your oven to 480 degrees. Since I'm making 2 pizzas and I have 2 ovens, I went ahead and put both of mine on 480. Out a little more. Got a little thin right there. And let me grab the pizza sauce. I forgot that. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pre-bake these pans for 8 minutes each. My glasses fog up. Now time to get the toppings going. For our pizza sauce, we like just a thin layer of the tomato sauce. And then also the other one. Something I'm going to start working on too is learning how to make my own sauces. Because I believe that would be much better and healthier for our family. So I want to make pizza sauces and our spaghetti sauce. And eventually one day, whenever I start making, I want to start learning how to make pasta from scratch, from home. All right. Top it with some freshly shredded mozzarella cheese. We do 2 different kinds of pizzas because the kids like cheese pizza and we like different kinds of pizzas. But tonight we're gonna have ham and pineapple and mushrooms. Put the kids a little freshly shredded cheddar cheese as well. And with our ham, I just use deli ham. And cut it up in slices. kind of throw it on there. Throw on some chunks of pineapple. And I love mushrooms, so I'm gonna add some mushrooms to ours as well. Michael can give or take with the mushrooms, so he's a good sport and allows me to put them on. And since there is just a little bit of mozzarella, go ahead and top it off the rest. I'm gonna throw these back in the oven for another 8 minutes. Alright guys, let's see how they turned out. That looks pretty yummy. Yummy. So actually what I did was I changed my temperature to 375, pre-baked them for 8 minutes, and then topped them and baked them for another 8 minutes. So you can do whatever you like, try different things. This seems to work better for us. And also in the meantime, I cleaned up so I don't have a huge mess. So let us know in the comments, do you like to clean up while you're cooking, or have one huge mess at the end and clean up? So once again, thank you for watching our video. Like and subscribe, and leave us any comments that you may have, and we appreciate you. Thanks.